All right, we are going to start our final experiment lab where we want to compare a name brand product to a generic product and see if there is a significant difference in the times that in the proportion of times that the name brand product is preferred. So we're going to kind of talk through this, but I want to have a couple little introductory videos for you. And so we're going to start with this here and play a few of those for you, and then we'll go into the rest of this lab here.
Hey, I'm Talon, and this is Rumpus, and I'm going to show you how to start an online t-shirt business. Let's go. First, go to shopify.com and start a free trial.
People often stereotype generic brands as less tasty, of poorer quality, or less effective than their brand name counterparts. But given that trusted brands demand more of your money, is there really a difference between brand name and generic food or drugs? When it comes to food, while there are many companies dedicated to producing generic brands, the truth is that many large brand name manufacturers often use their excess capacity and expertise to produce generic label products as well. In fact, in 2007, the Peter Pan brand of peanut butter was found to be contaminated with salmonella and recalled, and as a result, Walmart's Great Value brand of peanut butter was also taken off the shelves. Next time you're at the grocery store, try and compare the ingredient list and nutritional information of a generic item with its brand counterpart. Even if they aren't identical, which they sometimes are, it will give you a sense of how similar they can be. And studies show that, on average, generic brands run 30% cheaper. Furthermore, many staple food products like sugar and salts are regulated by the FDA. And think about it, table salt, also known as sodium chloride, only contains 2 elements from the periodic table. How variable could it really be? Think they taste different? Fancier brand name packaging may play a role. In one study, university students were given free coffee and asked to rate it. It turns out that if the cream and sugar were placed in fancy containers on a silver tray versus placed in styrofoam cups with haphazardly written labels, they would prefer the fancy brew, despite the coffee being the exact same. The placebo effect can be quite strong when it comes to your taste preferences. But when it comes to drugs, things are a little different. In fact, generic drugs have to be the same as the brand name. For example, ibuprofen is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug that treats headaches, fevers, and minor aches and pains. It's also sold under brand names like Advil and Nurofen. But at the base of these pills is the exact same thing, 200 milligrams of ibuprofen, the same dosage, safety, strength, and intended use. The generic drugs go through a series of stringent regulatory testing to prove their bioequivalence to the brand name. The only way in which the pills may differ is between their filler ingredients, which may include starch or gelatin, flavoring, and different colors. So while they aren't exactly the same, they are effectively the same. And studies routinely prove that generic drugs are as effective as the brand name. In fact, some studies show that individuals are more likely to stay on course with generic drugs because of the lower cost. Of course, there are some very specific drugs that have a narrow therapeutic index which require certain brands. In these cases, a doctor can help you decide. And yet, many people still remain skeptical. In one study, participants were given painkillers that were actually just blank placebo pills and administered a small electric shock. When they were told that the pill cost 10 cents, only 61% of people felt pain relief. But if they were told that the pill cost $2.50, a whole 85.4% of participants claimed to feel relief from the pain. At the end of the day, generic products, whether food, drugs, or otherwise, can be, but aren't always, equal to their brand name counterpart. So save those dollar bills and buy something special. We actually put together our own taste test to see if anyone could tell the difference between their favorite brands and the generic counterpart in our new ASAP Thought video. Use the link in the description to see that video. And subscribe for more weekly science videos.
All right, and we're going to watch that particular video as well. So let's pull that one up. It's very interesting. I want you to see different qualities about how they performed this taste test and how the products
for the
looked,
brand name
and
versus
so on and
generic
so forth.
script, we found that there are actually very few differences in terms of quality and chemistry of specific products. Brand name products are usually more expensive, but do they taste the same as the generic ones? We decided to test this out and got some participants in the ASAP Science office to see could they tell the difference between brand name versus generic.
Is this Coke and Pepsi? I've done that challenge before at Young and Dundas. I'm pro at it.
This is gonna be hard.
It's gonna be challenging.
They smell the exact
Yes,
same.
they do.
Tastes more like a syrup and like less, not as complex.
This isn't Coca-Cola.
This is not Coca-Cola, no. I would say this
Yeah.
is no name cola.
I think that this one is a brand name, for sure.
I think this one is Coca-Cola because it has a little bit of a bite.
This is the brand name.
That's the brand name.
That's no name.
That tastes like the real deal.
I spoke too soon. Yours is the Coke.
I think
This one is Coca-Cola.
So this one. Oh my god.
Ah, right?
I don't know if that's like good that we know that so well.
The Coca-Cola, I feel like their taste, the nuances are so noticeable. Still pickle.
My least favorite flavor of chips, but here we are.
I love chips.
I can see through the chip.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Higher quality oil.
What looks to be like potato skin on the edge, which I feel like is like a gourmet effect. This could be, it could be rice. Who knows?
These ones smell dillier.
Like there's more like ingredient on it. You have like 4 dills.
I think these ones have a stronger flavor and they're less crunchy.
These ones are crunchier.
This one's way better.
I hate the sound of people eating. Right now, I want to punch Hannon in the face.
I think this one is brand name.
This one.
That one.
Brand name? Yeah.
No.
This is brand name.
Yes!
Yes. Awesome. Do we win something?
We keep choosing the non-brand name one,
yeah.
being like it tastes better. So maybe that's like a thing.
When you really get down to it, there is sort of a difference.
I don't even like that flavor, so whatever.
I love cream cheese.
I look at that one and I see, oh, that's smoother to me, so money.
Never eaten cream cheese like this before.
In terms of flavor, I would say this one's more potent.
I prefer this one.
This one is the brand name.
Generic.
Generic, yeah.
I'm gonna stick to my gut and say this is the Philadelphia cream cheese.
Oh,
Really?
crap!
That one's good though.
We roll.
Boom.
Nah.
Well, this one should be the Philadelphia cream cheese.
That one's all on you.
You see, sometimes the no-name brand is better than the name brand. And it's great because you get a better thing for less money.
I hate Tropicana, I think. But now I shouldn't say that because probably one of these is Tropicana.
Lots of pulp.
Yeah, lots of pulp.
I love anything Oasis.
Yeah, Wonderwall. This one's sort of cloudy. It doesn't look as like bright.
If it ain't Tropicana, I'm not really. I'm just a snob in general. Is this Yeezy orange juice?
Even looking at it, I found this one to be like much brighter yellow, which I associate with a brand name.
That
Tropicana
could
from
definitely
concentrate
be
type
true.
thing.
It smells like orange juice.
That
This
one's-
too smells like orange juice.
This, one, is
the brand
brand.
name.
I think this one's Tropicana.
I'm gonna stick with my gut and say that one is a brand name.
I'm gonna go with this one. I'm going with this one right here. No, I'm pretty confident.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Right?
Yeah.
Is it Tropicana? Crap.
Always wrong. We're always wrong.
So there you have it. Taste and price do not always align, although some brand names are extremely recognizable. Are there any brands that you are really loyal to and why? Let us know in the comments below what brands you always buy. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, and make sure you subscribe to ASAP Thought for more weekly epic videos like this one. Peace.
All right, so you're going to get to perform your own generic versus name brand test. Now, some of you will be doing actual taste testing products, and there we have 6 options for that. And some of you will be doing beauty products and seeing the quality of how the beauty products feel and that kind of thing. So, we suspect that we typically think of that name brand being chosen more frequently than the generic. So you are going to design an experiment to see if the name brand product that you were assigned is chosen significantly more frequently than the generic product. Now, with there being 2 products, what proportion of the time would you expect the name brand product to be chosen if we cannot tell the difference between them? So you saw in the video that sometimes some of the people chose the generic and some of the people chose the name brand. Okay, so what proportion of the time, if there's really not a significant difference, what proportion of the time would it be for name brand? Hopefully you can tell that's going to be your 50%. But it seemed as though they showed the Coca-Cola product. Maybe people were for whatever reason, seems like they were able to identify that one significantly more than 50%. Remember, we're seeing significantly more, not just a little bit more, not just sampling variability. All right, so when you have your paper here, and I have assigned to you, so you need to have your group members write down your group members and the product that you had assigned to you. Now, today's goal is for you to answer a series of 10 questions. So let's kind of talk through the main goal of that, the main idea. We learned at the beginning of this year that there are 3 principles, 3 key things that have to happen with an experimental design. You make an experiment. What do you do? Control, randomize, repeat. So you're going to implement these 3 principles when you make your experimental design. So the first principle we want to consider is control. You need to control the variables so that there is only one variable. Okay, we're only just testing name brand versus generic. Okay, we don't have another product in there. So we've kind of done that through the value of just name brand versus generic. But you also need to consider controlling sources of bias that might come into play when conducting a comparison between 2 products. What might those be? So I want you to take a few minutes and read through and talk through these 6 problems on this page. We'll kind of talk out loud a little bit, and then you will pause this video and have about 5 to 10 minutes to write down something on all of these answers here, or all of these questions. So first, does the subject, so the person who's going to be testing, need to sample both products, the name brand and the generic? Why or why not? Okay, so explain. Yes or no, and here's the reason why. Do you think it matters if the subject knows which product is being sampled? What did you notice in that taste testing video? Should they know if it's the name brand or the generic? Why or why not? Write down your reason for that. Okay, now how about this? If you think that it is important for the product type to be hidden from the subject, do you remember that that is called a single blind experiment? Well, how about this? Do you think that the experiment needs to be double blind as well, where the evaluator, that's you, also does not know which product is being sampled? So why or why not should you also be conscious of which product is which? Okay, what do you think? Now, let's think about that for just a second. If you say, oh, we need to know because somebody needs to know. What if we could say just the teacher knows? Only the teacher knows. Is there any reason? What do you think? Is there a reason that you wouldn't know? Okay, so say I know, and so somebody's going to know. But would you, the person who's presenting the subject with the products, need to be hidden? Okay, how about this? If you chose to hide the product from your subject, I need you to think exactly how you are going to disguise this product. If you think that you need to just put it up, we will have paper towels, we'll have little cups available to you. We also will have water so that they could cleanse their palate. Do the items look different? Okay, do you need to cut them up? Do you need to just cover up the packaging that they come in? How are you going to disguise the product? Now, it could be that based on the product you get, maybe you need to Google what it looks like in its packages if you don't have that yet today, because I think we might not be getting those until the actual day of the testing. All right, so when you disguise the product from your subject, if or when you do that, how are you going to keep track of which product is which? So you need to think through. Somebody comes up to your table and and then they're going to take this product here. Okay, how are you going to know which one's which? How do you choose to do that if you are not hiding it from yourself? Okay, and you're just hiding it from the subject. How are you going to do that? All right. Now, one final thought before we pause this and let you answer these 6 questions is this. Will you ask your subject the basic question, which is, which product do you prefer? Okay? And you're just going to test the proportion of times that the name brand is chosen and see if that's 50% or more than 50%. Well, maybe you're interested in a more specific question, and you and your people in your group talk about this. Maybe you want to actually find out something such as this. Which product seems fresher? Or which product smells better? If it's a beauty product, maybe that's where the way you want to go. Which product feels smoother? Okay? Which product is sweeter? How about this? Maybe you then ask them their preference and then tell them the cost. And after you tell them the cost difference per unit, see if they switch their one that they choose. If this one is 4 times the cost of this one, does it really taste 4 times better, or would you choose to go with the other one? So what proportion of people switch their preference after they find out the actual price? Okay? All right, so we're going to stop this video here actually and give you 5 to 10 minutes to think about those things. Write them in. You have to write those in because you will be submitting these 10 questions to Canvas today after you and your partners have worked through these problems.